than water. It's a truth we're taught from the moment we're born. But if that's true, then why are more and more people choosing to run away from their own families? Not just staying mad for a few weeks, I mean disappearing completely. No birthdays, no Thanksgiving, no weddings, no funerals, just silence. And if you think only extremely toxic families lead to this kind of thing, not exactly. Some families look perfect from the outside. Beautiful Facebook photos, fun weekend parties. But behind closed doors, there is emotional manipulation, quiet control, and invisible pressure that slowly suffocates them for years, until one day they suddenly say, enough, and disappear, without a single explanation. Psychologists say cutting off family is usually not an impulsive decision. It is a deep and complex survival psychology. In this video, we're going to break down what is really happening inside the brain of people who choose to leave their families behind. If you're struggling with heavy guilt, or desperately trying to understand why someone you love suddenly turned their back on you, then this may be the explanation you've been searching for all this time. Welcome back. I'm Apex. Let's begin. When a child packs their bags, blocks the phone number, and walks out the door, parents often react with total shock. They'll tell relatives things like, they suddenly became a completely different person. Everything was still normal yesterday. Or, they cut us off just because of one tiny argument about washing the dishes.
हजारों सालों से लोग गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं लेकिन
They cut us off just because of one tiny argument about washing the dishes. From the outside, it can look unreasonable. But in psychology, we can call this the volcano effect. You see, a volcano eruption only looks sudden to the people standing at the bottom taking pictures, the ones who never paid attention to the deep rumbling under the ground. Lava does not appear out of nowhere overnight. It has been heating up, building pressure, and getting trapped under massive force for decades. And on the day the mountain finally explodes, the trigger may be one tiny shake, but it is the final drop that makes the cup overflow. Family estrangement works in almost the exact same way. The break does not come from one shocking event. It comes from a quiet process of erosion, created by repeated micro-traumas. So what are micro-traumas? They are not a slap. They are invisible scratches that happen again and again. It's the sarcastic joke at family dinner. Oh, so you finally found a job? I thought you were planning to live off your parents forever. It's gaslighting. You're being too sensitive. I was only joking. That never happened. You must have imagined it. It's the constant pushing past personal boundaries. Your mom rearranges your closet without asking. Your dad calls you 5 times a day while you're at work and gets offended if you don't pick up. One sarcastic comment will not destroy you. But 10,000 sarcastic comments over 20 years will change the structure of your brain. Your body starts sending warning signals before your rational mind even understands what is happening. Your stomach twists when you see a text from your mom. You sit silently in your car in the garage for 15 minutes, taking deep breaths just to gather enough courage to walk into the house. You shrink yourself, shaving down your personality into the smallest version possible just to keep the peace. Your body falls into a chronic fight or flight state. And when the nervous system has been overloaded for too long, cutting off contact is not punishment. It is the brain's automatic circuit breaker mechanism trying to save the last rational part of you. The psychologist Carl Jung once talked about the persona, the social mask we wear to fit in. In a healthy family, you can take that mask off when you come home. But in a dysfunctional family system, or in a family with narcissistic parents, the family itself becomes the harshest stage of all. There, your real identity is not welcome. Instead, you are assigned a role from the moment you are born. Let's see if you have unknowingly been playing one of these 4 tragic roles. Role 1, the golden child. This child represents the parents' American dream. They are the star quarterback on the school football team, the top student who gets into the Ivy League. Their parents carry them around like a golden trophy to show off to coworkers at parties. It looks perfect from the outside, but the golden child carries a brutal amount of pressure. The love they receive is conditional love. They learn a bitter lesson. I only have value when I win. They are willing to sacrifice their mental health, chasing careers they secretly hate, like becoming a lawyer or a doctor, just to keep their parents' perfect illusion alive. Role 2, the scapegoat. Whenever the family system has a conflict it cannot solve, it needs an emotional trash can to dump its anger into. This child is often the one with a different personality. Maybe they are the artistic one in a family full of engineers, or the most sensitive one in the house. Ironically, the scapegoat is often the person who sees the family's toxicity most clearly. They are the first ones brave enough to go to therapy, brave enough to point out how unreasonable their parents are. Because they dare to speak the truth, they become a thorn in the system's side. Role 3. The lost child. To survive in a suffocating home or a home full of arguments, this child chooses to become invisible. They hide in their room playing video games, never ask for new toys, and never make any noise. The less attention I draw, the safer I am. When they grow up, they become independent to the point of isolation, always carrying the belief that their existence is a burden to other people. Role 4. The parentified child. This is the result of parents who are emotionally immature. A mother might say to her 12-year-old daughter, "You're my best friend," and then start dumping heavy confessions onto the child about her failed marriage, money problems, and adult worries. This child is robbed of their childhood. They learn that love means rescuing other people. No matter which role you were forced into, the price is always the same: losing yourself. The moment you want to tear up the script and refuse to keep playing the role, the system will react violently. So for many people, cutting off contact is not the act of leaving their family. It is the act of resigning from a role that has been slowly killing their soul. Why do people endure years, sometimes decades of pain before they finally leave? The answer is not weakness. It lies in a psychological trap with an extremely destructive force: trauma bonding. The truth is, toxic families are rarely toxic all the time. If parents were always cold or cruel, leaving would happen very quickly. But the real problem is inconsistency. Mixed in with the days of manipulation and control are moments of shocking warmth. You have a huge fight the night before, but the next morning your mom makes your favorite cake and acts like nothing ever happened. Or your dad gives you an expensive gift right after insulting your self-worth. In behavioral psychology, this mechanism is called random reward. It is the same reason slot machines and casinos become so addictive. You keep pulling the lever even while you keep losing, just because you hope that next time the coins will fall. Your nervous system gets stuck in a loop. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is released when you are being manipulated, then soothed by a small dose of dopamine, the happiness hormone, when you receive tiny crumbs of affection. You tell yourself, if I just try a little harder, if I just make more money, if I just buy my parents this house, they will finally be proud of me and lead. It is like carrying a bucket to the empty well. You keep lowering the bucket down, desperate to scoop up a little water of approval, a little water of unconditional. Keep lowering the bucket down, desperate to scoop up a little water of approval, a little water of unconditional love. But every time you pull it back up, the bucket is empty. Cutting off contact only truly happens when the slot machine loses its power. When the child realizes this well has no water, and continuing to lower the bucket is just an act of self-destruction. At this point, it is very easy for us to sink into anger and resentment toward our parents. But I want to give you a wider lens, one that can help you truly break free: intergenerational trauma. Look at the context of people from the Boomer generation or Gen X. Their parents, meaning your grandparents, lived through World War II, through the Great Depression. The only priority of that era was survival. Your parents were raised by a generation carrying the heavy mindset of pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You were not allowed to be weak, not allowed to complain. They grew up in a society that had no language for emotions. No one talked to them about mental health, personal boundaries, or the inner child. Their frame of reference for love was very practical and harsh. I gave you a roof over your head. I paid your tuition. You did not starve to death. That means I did my job. They do not know how to connect emotionally because they themselves carry empty, ruined spaces inside that were never filled. Without meaning to, they bleed on the people who never wounded them, and that person is you. Understanding this is not an excuse for toxicity. Emotional abuse is wrong, no matter the reason. Understanding also does not mean you have to go back and keep enduring it, but understanding helps you remove the monster label from your parents. You realize they are just wounded, limited human beings. They could not give you a warm coat because they themselves are freezing to death inside their own inner world. When you see this truth, the resentment begins to dissolve. You leave not because you hate them, you leave because you are making a historic decision. This cycle of family trauma will officially end with my generation. When you decide to walk out that door, another battle begins. Not with your parents, but with yourself. An inner civil war between your biological instinct, which wants to belong to your family, and your survival instinct, which wants to protect your sense of self. Most people who leave carry one haunting question with them. Am I a cold-hearted person? Why can't I be as forgiving as everyone else? You question yourself because American society, even though it values individuality, still worships the idea of family comes first in Hallmark movies and Coca-Cola commercials. But here is the harsh truth. You cannot use the mindset of a healthy person and expect a toxic system to heal you. Imagine you are walking down the street and a car hits you, breaking your leg. The driver might be a family member. Maybe they did it by accident. Maybe they did it on purpose. You are lying there in pain, screaming for the driver to get out, grab a surgical knife, and put your bone back together. But they do not have the skills. They are not trained for that. They may even be busy arguing about who is right and who is wrong. Or worse, they may deny that they hit you at all. If you keep lying there waiting for them to apologize or heal you, your leg will start to rot. Healing is a personal responsibility. You have to be the one who drags yourself to the hospital, finds a doctor, and accepts the pain of getting a cast. The person who hit you may have to face legal responsibility, but whether your leg can walk again depends entirely on you. People who choose to cut off contact are often the ones who have realized this. Their parents do not have the skills to heal the wounds they created. Leaving is not running away. It is actively going to find a doctor for your soul. You stop fighting over who is right and who is wrong with people who refuse to understand, so you can focus on saving the rest of your life. The most painful part is not the moment you block the phone number. It is the quiet, empty space that comes after. In psychology, this is called ambiguous loss. In America, when someone dies, we have a clear social process: a funeral, condolences, and closure. But when you cut off someone who is still alive, there is no ritual to help you move through it. Your parents are still there. They still post pictures on Facebook. They still walk around the old neighborhood, but they have died in your emotional reality. You are grieving two funerals at the same time. The death of reality, a relationship that has shattered beyond repair. The death of hope, you are officially letting go of the image of the ideal father or ideal mother you always wished for. There will be days like Thanksgiving or Christmas when you walk into Target and see the words "Best Mom Ever" printed on ceramic mugs. A wave of guilt will squeeze your chest. You will ask yourself, maybe I overreacted? Maybe they were not that bad. Please understand this. Your nervous system was conditioned to live in chaos. At first, peace will feel very wrong. But that guilt does not prove you are wrong. It only proves that you have compassion. You are grieving the version of family you deserve to have, not the version of family that destroyed you. Freedom always has a price. And the first price is this clean kind of loneliness. Cutting off contact is not the end. It is the beginning of a journey called reparenting yourself. When the criticizing voices are no longer ringing in your ears, you will start to hear the voice of your inner child. A child who was abandoned, forced into roles, and hurt for far too long. Your job now is to become the ideal father or ideal mother you never had. When you make a mistake, instead of attacking yourself with your parents' voice, say to yourself, "It's okay. I can try again." When you feel anxious, comfort yourself. You are safe now. I am here to protect you. Allow yourself to do silly things you were not allowed to do before. Buy an expensive toy, travel alone, or simply sleep in all day without feeling guilty. And then from those broken pieces, you will begin to build the chosen family. In America, we have a beautiful saying, friends are the family we choose for ourselves. DNA builds the body, but empathy builds the soul. You will realize that family does not have to share the same blood. It can be the partner who always respects your boundaries, the close friends who are willing to listen without judging you, the coworkers who believe in your real value. They love you not because of duty, not because of social pressure, but because they can see the light inside you. This is where the trauma cycle officially breaks. When you choose to live happily, you are not only saving yourself, you are also protecting the next generation of your children from the ghosts of the past. After all of this, cutting off contact is not an act of punishment. It is a declaration of survival. If you are the one who chose to walk away, remember this. You did not betray your family. You simply refused to keep betraying yourself. You were brave enough to choose the truth over perfect illusions. And even though it hurts, that decision proves one thing. From now on, this life belongs completely to you. And if you are the one left behind, searching for an explanation, I hope this video has helped you understand this. Sometimes distance is the only way a soul can survive. No matter where you are on this journey, remember that you are not alone. Peace is not a luxury gift, it is your right. Share your thoughts in the comments because sometimes your story can become a life raft for someone else who is drowning in guilt. Be gentle with yourself. You deserve. Thank you for walking with Apex.